Hello and welcome students for Academy IAS History Optional. I would like to discuss 2024 questions. Let us see the first question in paper 2. This is the paper, exactly what UPSC has given. In this paper 2, the first question you can see here, critically examine the following statements in about 150 words. Here we need to write 150 words, 2 pages are given. First, A1A, after the Battle of Plassey, the mercenary became the kingmaker. Critically examine. This is the question. How we approach this? Here it is asking about, it is one of the easiest questions. It is about Battle of Plassey. The mercenary became the kingmaker. For understanding purpose, we are trying to see what has happened after Plassey. Then we can understand that here who is the kingmaker and who is the mercenary. Here the essence of the question is, East India Company became a kingmaker. Mercenary means a person who will fight for the money, not for any sake of nationalism, not for any loyalty. It's all about money. Mercenary means whoever pay more, they are ready to fight on their behalf. East India Company was also, whoever is giving them more money, they are ready to fight for them. And also they are ready to make the kings also, kingmaker. Particularly, this tendency increased after Battle of Plassey. And in fact, the Plassey itself is a conspiracy for making king. Here you can see this. When it comes to this, when it comes to introduction, you can write Plassey, one of the pivotal battles that was fought on the Indian soil. After Battle of Plassey in 1757, the Bengal gradually entered into the hands of British. Once British entered into the hands of British, once Bengal entered into the hands of British, gradually entire India entered into the hands of British. So that is the very, very significant event. But there was one previous year question also, that also you can bring. Suppose had they defeated after Battle of Plassey, it would have been a normal one of the minor episodes in our history. But it was not the case. After Battle of Plassey, they emerged victorious in Battle of Buxar also. That's why Battle of Plassey became one of the pivotal elements, one of the pivotal periods. In this, the causes for Battle of Plassey is the misuse of dastaks. In 1717, Farrukhsiyar has given them a farman that became Magna Carta of East India Company. According to this Magna Carta, Royal Farman, they can trade freely in Bengal region. And in fact, he has given this permission for entire Mughal Empire. As Battle of Plassey is related to Bengal, in Bengal, they can trade freely. Calcutta Council can give certain permissions with their signature that if they show these dastaks, they need not to pay tax or duty to any officials within the Bengal region. But problem emerged when Mughal Empire itself is in declining position. Here Mughal emperors, they were not safe. The nobles were conspiring against the Mughal emperors. Farrukhsiyar was dethroned by Syed brothers, later many other. And Delhi itself was attacked by Marathas in 1737. Delhi itself was attacked by Nadir Shah in 1739. As a result, when Delhi itself is in a weak position, gradually Bengal became independent. Since the beginning of Murshid Quli Khan, he was the first person who started behaving like independently. As long as Murshid Quli Khan was there, after him only Murshidabad capital also became capital of Bengal, Subha. Murshid Quli Khan, he controlled Fort William, he controlled East India Company activities. After him, another important ruler, Ali Vardi Khan came. When Ali Vardi Khan came in 1740s, in 1740 he became, already in 1740s, Carnatic wars were going on. Here, French versus British were going on. The French and British were involving in the local politics and they were benefiting. That's why Ali Vardi Khan sensed this one, suspected the activities of European companies, both about British and as well as French. He wanted to control them. As a result, he wanted to ensure that East India Company will follow the rules and regulations of Bengal. And Bengal wanted to become strong in the wake of weak Delhi. Here, from this direction, Marathas attacks were happening, and after Nadir Shah, here Afghan threats also started coming from this direction. It has the danger from Afghans also, Marathas also, and meanwhile, European companies were also fighting amongst themselves. Now, on overall, the security of Bengal was in dangerous position. That's why Alivardi Khan wanted to protect his kingdom, Bengal, from all these conspiracies and these security threats. And he wanted to curtail these activities. And as Maratha raids and Afghan raids were taking place, here, when it comes to East India Company, Fort William, they fortified some settlements. And they have taken the excuse that they are in danger of Maratha raids, that's why we have to fortify. But Alivardi Khan gave the strong warning that you should not do that. And they are not ready to listen. Alivardi Khan was about to take action, but he died. Later, Sirajuddaulah became the Nawab in 1756. And Sirajuddaulah was also understanding all these. He wanted to ensure everybody in his kingdom follow what Sirajuddaulah says. That is rule of law according to Bengal Nawab. Now already the British becoming very strong here. Already they have win victories over French also. The French threat was also gradually eliminated in this position. British are becoming powerful, and the navy and army of the British gradually is becoming more and more stronger. The concept here, mercenary concept became very one of the strong, one of the key elements of Indian history or Indian society of 18th century. These are 1700s. In 1700s, today we have nationalism. But in the 18th century, here suppose if there is a village and this village wanted to participate in wars. Now you see, in 18th century, this side raids, this side raids, this side raids, and here East India Company and other companies are fighting. Wars and battles became very, very common in 18th century. Now almost every village felt not safe without taking the weapons into their hands. That's why almost every village having some kind of protection, and even people also became self-sufficient villages so that they used to protect their village, and it became very difficult to believe even the neighboring village also, because you do not know at what point of time attacks will come. That's why the people also became warrior kinds, and these warriors are ready to serve anyone. Suppose if East India Company gives them money, they are ready to serve. If French East India Company give more payment, they are ready to serve. That's why French people and English people, from where they are getting the soldiers? From Indians only. East India Company also recruiting from Indians. French East India Company also recruiting from Indians only. French people will be there, British people will be there, but they are at the top level, and lower level sipais, they were from Indian soldiers only. And this concept is called mercenary. Mercenary means a person who fights for money. Here, whoever pays more money, it's like a company. Like 2-3 companies are there. Whoever give more salary, people are ready to go and work. Here, that work is war. That work is war. Going and working, doing the war. And tomorrow they may fight on behalf of English. Day after tomorrow they may fight on behalf of French also. People are ready to enter into the another opposite side also if they are paid. That's why the British were able to conspire against Sirajuddaulah very easily during a Plassey time period. So this is what Plassey, Sirajuddaulah wanted to punish them, and he gave warnings. They did not listen. He went to Calcutta. He captured Calcutta and he renamed it Alinagar also, and he went back to capital Murshidabad in 1756. British wanted to revive this. Robert Clive, he went and he wanted to first purchase the loyalty of the people who are opposing Sirajuddaulah. And his commander-in-chief Mir Jafar was ready to become Nawab, and he is ready to defect the change the loyalty from the Sirajuddaulah, and he was ready to support East India Company. This is where the East India Company is now becoming kingmaker. East India Company became kingmaker. And who is the first person? Mir Jafar. And from there, they were going to Sirajuddaulah. East India Company, Robert Clive. Here, East India Company is a mercenary. He is now becoming kingmaker. King means they will not become the kings, but they will support Mir Jafar. And Mir Jafar is the one who is paying East India Company. Suppose, had it been some other person, if not Mir Jafar, if some other person is ready to pay them and they are ready to fight on behalf of other person. That's where Mir Jafar became the first person in the first instance where East India Company became the kingmaker. Later, they conspired with Mir Jafar, they executed Sirajuddaulah, and Mir Jafar became king in 1757. Now, after Battle of Plassey, now this question is more of from this point. You have to focus, highlight the incidents that have taken place in this time period. Mir Jafar, and now what Mir Jafar proposed, he is ready to give more duty-free trade, no hindrance for them, and he even gave that for 2 years, Burdwan and Nadia, 2 districts are there. He gave for 2 years they can collect the land revenue. In that way, they were rented. He has given personally lakhs of rupees for them. East India Company was paid lakhs of rupees. It was given duty free, and it was also given zamindari rights or the revenue collection rights for 2 years in this. Now 57, 58, 59, by 59, because of these concessions, they are here now for the commercial purpose. The commercial body is now becoming even more stronger. It is now getting lands also. Now it is becoming very rich also. Particularly the officials are becoming gradually very rich. Now this commercial body, to protect all these interests, now it also turned into a military body. To protect their interest, military body means they have to maintain army. They started maintaining their own army. Now this army is important to protect themselves from Nawab also. Nawab became puppet. Still, to protect Nawab also, they need army. And if there is any kind of attack, they have to protect it. And also, if there is any threat here, they have to do that also. In that way, they are becoming commercial as well as military body as well. Now the cost of maintaining this military is growing. Mir Jafar has already given them concessions. Now he has given duty free. Now the company officials are misusing dastaks. The Battle of Plassey started with misuse of dastaks. Now Mir Jafar gave them offer, and now they are free, ready to misuse, and Mir Jafar cannot ask them because he was a puppet. He was depending on East India Company. That's why he was not able to control these activities. Now gradually their cost of operations increasing, but the income from Mir Jafar is not able to meet. Now they started demanding more money from Mir Jafar and more lands from Mir Jafar and more concessions. And Mir Jafar told, already I have given whatever I could do. I am not able to even collect the taxes also from the people. Now I cannot provide more money to you. Then this is where after Plassey, after explaining this, now if Mir Jafar is not able to meet the expenditure of the company, now they are ready to replace Mir Jafar with another king. Now they are ready to replace him with another person because the Bengal's finances position is coming down. East India Company is not able to get more revenue for maintenance of their army. And Mir Jafar is also not able to improve the position. That's why one of the observers says, one of the members of Calcutta Council Governor, Calcutta Fort William Governor says, the main crime of Mir Jafar was his poverty. Now, because of poverty, he was not able to do anything with respect to improving the finances. East India Company wanted to replace Mir Jafar also. In these circumstances, Mir Qasim was ready to. Now, Siraj-ud-Dawla was replaced by Mir Jafar, and Mir Jafar is not able to meet their expenditure. Now they are ready to replace with Mir Qasim. Mir Qasim was ready to become Nawab, and he told that again, I will pay more. I will improve the finances. I will give you the more lands. You can collect the land revenue, and I will allow you to go freely with the trade also. And he was expected that he will be more puppet in the hands of East India Company. This is called mercenary. Now, on behalf of Mir Qasim, this mercenary sent an army. This army went to capital Mir Jafar, Murshidabad, and Mir Jafar was forced to resign in favor of Mir Qasim. Now Mir Qasim became Nawab. And once again, story repeats. He had given a lot of amount also. He had given lands also. That's why Burdaham, Nadia, Chittagong, they were given Jamindari rights. And he has given even 50% of the taxes in Chunam trade also, saltpeter trade also. He has given many trade concessions as well as Jamindari rights, and one-time payment of also was given. Now thereafter, they also promised that as the lands were given to East India Company, the remaining lands under Nawab, they had an agreement that we will not enter into yours and you do not enter into mine. That means now mercenary body is gradually becoming king also. Earlier it is kingmaker. Now gradually it is becoming a king as well. So when it comes to critical analysis, kingmaker means like this. After some time, Mir Qasim felt that they are interfering and he wanted to fight with them. It led to Battle of Buxar also. He shifted his capital, he improved his army also, and he removed duties for everybody, including Indians also. It created resentment among East India Company, and they wanted to replace Mir Qasim. And once again, they felt Mir Jafar is better. And now once again, Mir Jafar became next Nawab. Replaced. After Battle of Plassey, Siraj-ud-Dawla replaced by Mir Jafar, and he was replaced by Mir Qasim, once again replaced by Mir Jafar. And when Mir Jafar died, and after that also, here people will fight after Mir Jafar, his own next succession, East India Company will support a person and they will become the Nawabs. In this way, the mercenary became the kingmaker. Mercenary became kingmaker in this context. But critical analysis, you can say that initially after Plassey, they were just kingmakers, and later they removed Nawabship itself. After 1772, they completely removed Nawabship and completely they have taken kingmaker, converted into mercenary, became not kingmaker, converted into king himself. So in those times, political, the military go together. Whoever is having more military power, they were becoming the rulers. In this way, after Battle of Plassey, explain how mercenary became the kingmaker. Robert Clive, Vansirat, and they were the one who were becoming the kingmakers. Mir Jafar, then Mir Qasim, once again Mir Jafar, and from his family, and so on, kingmaker. And in the end, after some time, they not only became the kingmaker, they themselves became the king. That means they started controlling entire Indian subcontinent. So in this way, you can explain this. After the Battle of Plassey, the mercenary became the kingmaker. All right, thank you. We will analyze the next question in next video.